Hello guys, it's Ray. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be planting out some seedlings. However, I wanted to go ahead and show you all how I prepare the planting hole so that they have the best fertilizer and the best access to water. So here you can see I have a couple of seedlings right here. They're not root bound by any means, but I can tell that they are ready to get out of this because the leaves are curling and it has sufficient amount of water. That tells me that it doesn't have enough soil. So that's probably why this leaf is so small. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these out today. I have, for example, cantaloupe, black squash. I have another black zucchini. I have a golden zucchini. And then here we have a sugar baby watermelon and a Congo watermelon. So I'm actually pretty excited to get these out into the garden today. And yeah, like I said, we're not looking too root bound yet, but like there you can see those roots don't have anywhere to go anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and plant these out, and I'll show you how I prepare it. All right, my friends, so as you can see, these are the seedlings that I'm gonna be planting out today. And I'm thinking about where I'm gonna put them. I'm pretty sure I'll put the watermelons and the cantaloupes in the center of the garden bed so that they can go ahead and use this trellis that I have, and they can go ahead and be supported. So eventually this whole trellis should be filled with a watermelon plant, and we'll have some hanging watermelons. It'll be real nice. And then the zucchinis, I'll probably be planting them out towards this front end of the bed. I do have a tomato and some onions. I have peppers and lettuce over there. So I'm trying to see what's the best spacing. Last year I had done it so that I had all of my zucchinis on this side. I had tomatoes interplanted, and then I had all my peppers and all my lettuces on the other side. I think I might be changing around the configuration today. Like I said, cameo. Yes, that's Cowgirl, by the way, in case you guys don't know Cowgirl. She's the protector of the garden. And yeah, so there you see, that's our tomato. So that tomato is gonna be there, and we're gonna basically plant the zucchinis right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these holes ready, as well as their little labels, and then I'll get back to you whenever we're gonna plant them out. Alrighty, before we get planted, I did want to go ahead and show you the fertilizers that we're gonna be using today, and the fertilizer I have already been giving to our seedlings. So right here I do have a liquid fertilizer. It starts off as a concentrate, and then you just dilute it in water. Our seedlings have been receiving this since the day that they popped out of the ground. So yes, this is a very good fertilizer, and it is a 222. It doesn't have a ton of fertilizer, a ton of nutrients, but it gives it that little head start that your plants might need. Alrighty, and then we're gonna move on to blood meal. So blood meal, very important. As you can see, this is a 13 to 0 to 0. What that means is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK. So our N, as you can see, is 13. What that means is that we're gonna have a lot of nitrogen. We're gonna add a lot of nitrogen to our soil. What is nitrogen good for, you ask? Well, actually nitrogen is very good at helping our plants keep that green, fresh growth. So when you are barely putting a plant in the ground, you want it to have a heavy dosage of nitrogen so it can put out that green growth. All right? And now I have our final one, bone meal. So bone meal is very important as well. And this one is an organic source of phosphorus. So as you can see, this is pretty much nothing but phosphorus in here. But the cool thing about phosphorus is phosphorus helps us with our roots and with our blooms. So not only will your plants want to dive deeper in those roots, but you're gonna get much healthier blooms, and you might get more blooms than you would have without the fertilizer. So that's it, guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and dress these holes, and alrighty. So I've already gone ahead and dug 2 holes. This is our golden, that's one of our black beauties right there. And I'm just basically gonna show you how I am preparing it. So as you can see, I have an oak leaf mulch. So I basically just pull this mulch back to expose our soil. And then from there, you go ahead and make your hole, just like this. Just like that. So, pro tip, if you have mulch in your garden, what you don't want to do is get this soil out of here and then just dump it on. No, because then you're gonna mix it in with the mulch. What I like to do is I like to put it in a separate box, so that way whenever I'm done planting, that free soil will go back to fill in the spots that I need. But we won't have all that mulch mixed into it. Alrighty, so now we're gonna be moving on to our next part, which is dressing these holes with our fertilizer. I'm gonna be starting off with this blood meal, like I said, heavy in nitrogen, and right now we want green growth to promote big leaves and really healthy leaves, right? So I've already gone ahead and opened it for us. As you can see, looks really nice, really dark, really rich in nutrients. That's what you want to see. And you're just gonna get a little cup like this one, and about that much. You don't want a ton. And now you can just go ahead and sprinkle it liberally inside of your planting hole, right? Once you got all of that in there, I won't be applying this just yet because we don't need blooms just yet, but eventually this will be going into here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you just kind of give it a little mix with the native soil. And it's time to plant. So to loosen your plant, you can just go ahead and squeeze lightly on the edges. Make sure that you give it about a day after you water it to make sure that it's kind of loose. And just like that, it'll pop out. So as you can see, we do have a little bit of root boundness, but nothing that we can't fix. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break up those roots. Just like that. Oh yeah. Just like that. Break up the roots on the side. Just like that. And I'm being gentle. I'm not putting too much pressure until we end up with something like this, which is very healthy and loose. So now it won't be root bound. Then you go ahead and put it to the level that you want to. And you're gonna grab your handy dandy soil bin, and you're gonna add soil to the level that you want your plant to be at. I want my plant to be about right there. So I can go ahead and let it go now and backfill it in. And you're gonna want to apply a little bit of pressure around the plant to make sure that it's nice and seated. So then you get your watering wand and very lightly provide some water to your seedling. And if you really want to, just for the sake of it, you can give it a little top dressing of bone meal. Just like that. And that's pretty much it, guys. Go ahead and give it another water. Then we'll bring our mulch back. just like that, and make sure our irrigation line. So as you can see, I planted that zucchini in between these two emitters, so that zucchini will be receiving sufficient amount of water. And that is pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the process for the next two, and I'll keep you updated once we're done. Alrighty guys, I actually just went ahead and planted the sugar baby watermelon right there, the cantaloupe in the center, and our Congo watermelon right there. So as you can see, they're all very small and they don't have their true leaves yet. So I did leave them a little bit higher in the soil than I did the zucchini, just because the zucchinis already have true leaves. So yeah, I'm hoping they don't suffer too bad, and I'm hoping I didn't transplant them too early. But if I did, we'll just start some new seeds. The good thing is that it's barely spring, so we're gonna go ahead and be able to restart our seeds if anything goes wrong with those. So yeah. And just like that, I went ahead and planted our zucchinis. Looking awesome. So I guess one of the only complaints that I have was that the mulch seems to make them really short, but I'm sure as they grow that won't be a problem. But right now it does look like a little bit of a problem. We should be fine though. Nothing that we won't be able to fix. So yeah, I have my mulch bag, I have my line bag, my drip emitter, and I didn't want to point out this golden zucchini. I had actually started this a little bit after our first frost, which is kind of why it has not been doing too well. As you can see, it's been struggling for quite a while. I'm gonna leave it in the ground. We'll see what happens. And then I actually have another one. This is a squash though. It's a vining squash. I also planted that one similarly in the same time period. Also not doing too well, so we'll see if hopefully it recovers, because by this time the leaves should be at least the size of my hand. But yeah guys, I mean, it's looking good. I did go ahead and fertilize our tomato here. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little drink of water right now after I prune these lower leaves, because they are making contact with our soil, which can lead to more disease and bacteria. So I'm gonna chop these lower leaves off and then give it a good watering. I already gave it that fertilizer. And yeah, so while I have your attention, I guess I'll just give you a little tour. Here we have some onions. I did buy these onion sets. I did not start them from seeds, so there's just a couple of them in there, but we should have some onions by the end of summer. And look at these right here. These are my pride and joy at the moment. Some burgundy lettuce, looking really good. Hopefully it continues to grow and it doesn't get too hot down here in South Texas before it bolts and I can't eat it. So yeah, the weather's been pretty crazy lately, so my lettuce doesn't look too happy. But yeah, it's basically because we've gotten so much heat down here so soon and so quickly. It was very unexpected. So yeah, our lettuce growing season this year was very short, as you can see. And then right here I just have the seedling table. It's a little dirty and crammed right now, but as all things in nature should be. But yeah, as you can see, I have some dragon fruit cuttings, I have some fig cuttings, I have my tomato seedlings, and yeah, I have my fertilizer, another tomato. I'm actually really excited about tomatoes this year. I'm growing way more than I need, but in my defense, they're all different varieties, and it's because I got too excited. So why don't I give you a little show through. So here we have a sweetie tomato, here we have a Roma tomato, here we have a yellow pear tomato, and here we have a sweetie tomato, and last but not least, a big rainbow tomato. So yeah, as you can see, the leaves are looking kind of spotty-ish in a couple of them, but that's due to the fact that we got about 3 days of back-to-back rain here, and I think that kind of just set them back a little in terms of how much oxygen they were receiving in their roots, because they were so water bound. And I was actually out of town when that happened, so kind of a big cluster, you know what. So yeah, but anyways, I think they're gonna be all right, because as you can see, this fresh growth looks really healthy. So I'm very excited about that. They're gonna be recovering. And yeah, I know these are the like low spots, but I'm just reusing them, I'm recycling them. All of these were started from seed in my own backyard. And last but not least, I wanted to show you my mint. I love this thing. I just love this hanging pot full of mint. I actually make my own infused water with mint. It tastes absolutely incredible. And as you can see, it's hanging from the top, so very nice. And as you can also see, there's a water line that comes up through there. Need to fix it a little because it got loose, but and then goes up through there, and so it's automatically watered, which is a super bonus for me, because on hot days I don't have to come out here and worry about my mint drying out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I'm gonna show you where I keep kind of my tools and stuff. It's under this table that you guys saw me build in the last episode. And under the table I kind of just keep a bunch of necessities, things like a kneeler, so when you're in the garden, save your knees. Here I have a seed starting mix. Below it I have a potting mix. Here I have another all-purpose and seed starting mix. At the bottom I know Miracle Grow, we don't like it, but it's cheap, so I had to buy it. And yeah, we're in college, we're broke. And this is where I keep my fertilizers. I make sure they're nice and sealed off, because since they are outside, there is the possibilities of there being a little bit of moisture. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what goes in my garden box. I also put my tools in there from time to time, and these water bottles and these cups. And under the table I actually keep just an extra handsaw and the brush that I use to clean off the table whenever it gets dirty. Just a recycled brush. I have an old paint brush just because, and kind of a little miniature rake. So yeah, I thought this table build came out really nice. It's really nice to be able to come out here and sit down on this stool and have a comfy place to just work on my seeds.